Thank you, folks, for being on this morning's call for our association planning meeting for 2020. And this is the seventh in a series of seven meetings, teleconferences that we've had throughout the week. And this morning it's membership. So thank you so much for being committed and passionate about membership, that you'd be on this call this morning. And just a heads up about a couple of things. First of all, we are recording this, as Joe mentioned, for playback at a later time. Despite that, please feel free to interject or ask questions as we move along through the presentation here. And that's part of what makes this platform so dynamic, is that you're able to ask the questions through the system and make it interesting and get the information you need, more importantly. So at any rate, thank you for being here. These teleconferences typically haven't lasted much more than an hour or so. As a matter of fact, the longest one was our president's call on Tuesday morning, the first one, and that went, what, Joe, about an hour and a half or so. But
yeah.
But these have been lasting. I think that's a good amount of time. But Maureen, just take as much time as you need. But don't be concerned if we don't use the full 2 hours. That's for sure. So at this time, I'd like to introduce to you your 2020 NAFA Florida President, Joe Chatham. He was duly elected, and then installed as our president at our recent Financial Advisors Sales Symposium and the annual conference. And as such, he'll assume office January 1st. He's been elected and installed, but technically he doesn't take over until January 1st. So, Joe, thank you so much for serving, and I'll turn it over to you at this time.
Thank you, Tom, and thank you everyone for joining us this morning. These planning sessions have been really important and worthwhile, because it gives us an opportunity to get a little bit of a head start for 2020, and nothing more important than planning. As you may know at this point from previous transmissions and communications, that my vision for 2020 really focuses in two areas, and one is membership and leadership. Of course, the focus of this training session is on membership, and I think you may agree that without membership, we don't have anything. We don't have PAC. We don't have the ability to fulfill our core mission of advocacy, and without leadership, there's no guidance toward growing our membership. So that's absolutely critical. I believe that all of us serve on the membership committee, whether that be formally or informally, and we always need to be thinking about how we can improve our membership efforts and our numbers. And to that point, we've created something called basically really focusing on creating new ideas. I mean, our association, our industry is all based upon concepts and ideas. So we created something called the Idea Incubator, and it's an effort to encourage our members to share new ideas, different ideas, maybe even old ideas that might be moving us forward. We're going to be creating an inbox or an email address at the state level called IDEA, IDEA, at nafa-florida.org. And I'm not saying that every idea that comes in will be implemented immediately. All ideas have to be vetted. I know firsthand that I've had many ideas that maybe did not work out, but many ideas do. And the ideas can come in from different angles. We're welcoming these ideas for any direction. So at this time, I'd like to welcome our 2020 membership chair, Maureen Kirchhofer, who will conduct this training.
Thank you. Thank you. I guess it was a moment of weakness when I agreed to do this, but I just want everyone to know how much I care about NAFA. Most of you that know me know I feel that way. I've been a member since 1983 and done various roles. And on a local level, we actually had the largest membership that Florida ever had. So I thought maybe I can take what I have and what I know and transfer it to the rest of you. And that's probably really why I agree. But before we get into anything else, what I was hoping we would do is go around the room and have everyone introduce themselves. But tell us why you are part of NAFA today. Claire, are you available?
Claire,
Maybe not.
Claire does not have.
Yeah, Claire's got audio issues.
But
Okay.
oddly enough, she's been on every teleconference we've had this week, but she does not have audio capability. She's
Okay.
off of her computer.
All right, George.
Well, I just got involved in NAFA again after about a 10-year hiatus because I think it's important to help protect our industry, protect our livelihood. It's the voice of advocacy, none like any other is NAFA, and that's why I'm here.
And if we want to get advocacy going, we really need to have the numbers to talk about it. That's so important. So, hey, Sherry. Oh, evidently not. My phone thought it was, my phone thought I was saying Siri.
Oh.
Hey, Sherry.
Hey guys.
I'll go away. No, I don't mean you, Sherry. Sherry, just introduce yourself and tell us why you've been involved with NAFA. But you're muted. So let's try Patrick.
Hey, good morning. I'm Maureen. Probably the biggest drivers for me were the opportunity to network and the programming that gets put on.
Very good. Diana, I know why you're involved, and you're our other arm. So just introduce yourself briefly.
Thanks. I'm Diana Shipley. I'm the Director of Membership here at NAFA Florida in the state office. And I've been with the association for about 7 years, and I have 10 plus years in membership, various associations. So I'm glad to be here, and anything that you guys need, I am happy to help with. So either call or email me anytime.
Thanks, Diana. Again, you are our other arm.
Thank you.
Grace?
Hi, I'm Grace Staten. I'm with the Northeast Florida chapter. I've been off and on a member, gosh, I actually don't know how long, but I've been in the industry since 1996. But I think what attracts me the most, the advocacy efforts for sure is part of it. I think it might be a combination because the leadership opportunity, the networking, while I don't have my own practice, I do like the focus of like protecting your business that NAFA has. So I think it's just sort of a combination and not any one set thing, but just, you know, as a whole, just, I don't know, professional excellence, I suppose, is what I personally strive for.
Thanks, Grace.
Mm-hmm.
Darlene?
Who did you say?
Darlene.
That's me. Well, I joined because my manager at New York Life said, make out a check and fill out this application. And that was 39 and a half years ago. And I stayed because I realized how important it is that someone's not going to listen to one voice, but they'll listen to many. And of course, the networking and so on and so forth.
Great, thank you.
The end.
The end. Kate. Is it Kate or Caitlin?
Kate, I'm here. The reason why I joined membership chair is echoing back to pretty much everyone is saying. It's the leadership, it's the networking, but most importantly, the advocacy program that we have. And that's why I'm excited to be back to the board.
Great. Sherry? You're muted.
Yeah, she's going to need to stay muted. I just got a text message from her.
Oh, okay.
Very, very noisy environment there.
Okay, no problem. Okay, well, the reason I had everybody tell us why you are a member today. I think the only reason I joined was because I was supposed to get an award and I had to be a member to get it. But that was just the beginning and introduction to the organization. And I think what happens is once you say you're willing to work, obviously that's first thing they want to do is find a nice job for you to do. So anyway, commitment is so important. You can't convince other people to do something if you don't have the commitment to do it yourself. And the messages that we're all talking about are the messages that you need to convey to any new member or a member of your team to get started. If you can't have the passion and the love of the organization, it's not going to come across. And I know you all have it, so I think it's great for you to be able to express that to others. So here's some of the goals that we're going to talk about today. First of all, and I think this is crucial, establish a new member team for every single local with at least 8 members on each team. Now, I know I've been to meetings, I've been to local meetings where the membership chair sits down and says to the board, okay, everybody, you're on my team. That's not what we're looking for. I know that everyone on the board believes enough in the organization to spread it, but when I was membership chair, and that was a million years ago, and actually it really wasn't, like 20 years ago maybe. But anyway, when I was membership chair, I had 13 people on my team. And we didn't have the luxury of having Zoom, but we met like at least 4 times a year. And everybody felt they were part of the team. So here you go. You've got to find 8 members for your team. Where do you find these members? Look at your local organizations that have large agencies. A New York Life, for instance. I just went to the Northeast Florida meeting, and the speaker was from New York Life, and there were probably, I'm going to say, at least 15 people there that were not members from New York Life. What a great opportunity after that meeting to sign as many of them up as possible. So look to the agencies. So what I want you all to do is I want you to look, and if you're not the membership chair, contact the membership chair, make sure they know about this, and get the names of 8 members. Now, I want those names. I want to hear who they are. I want their email addresses and their telephone numbers so that I can keep in touch with them as well. We can set up a Zoom meeting for you. And I think that would be something, if you have the 8 people, invite them to a Zoom meeting. Tom said we can use the Zoom as long as there's not another Zoom meeting going on. And we can put something together and we can do the same thing we're doing now. Tom, that's okay, right?
Yes.
So,
absolutely.
So you've got your 8 members. And I'm sure you're all sitting down thinking about who you're going to have on the membership committee right now. And get the names together. The important thing is, though, if you have, say, again, I'm going to use New York Life just because we just had that meeting. You've got to make sure that the manager of New York Life is willing and cooperative. If you go to speak to the person and they have a problem, let me know, because I'm here to help you to get this membership committee together. If you have a good membership committee, you don't have to have the whole burden on you. You're going to have people working for you all the time. And the other thing that be aware of, there are other people in the organization. If you talk to somebody who's a broker, they are selling what they have to other members, other insurance people. They are exposed to a lot of agents that are not members of the association. You need to know where to look for these people. The other thing to think about is the paramed. There are various parameds that we use every day to do our health, our physicals and so forth. those people, again, are exposed to a lot of potential members, and they can give you names. If you can recruit them, all the better. But if you just establish relationships so that they know they can let you know the names of people who are not members that you can contact. So you need to find out where do you find, think of your own sales. Where do you find the people that you go to talk to about your products and so forth? You market them. And the way you market them is to have a group of people that communicate with each other. And this will really help. The other thing is, in your organization, find a long-term member, somebody who's been a member of NAPA for a long time. And have that person be in charge of retention, and I call revival, because I think some of the older members they just sit back and say, well, you know, I've done it. Get them excited about something. Maybe even have an event just for those people in your organization. It doesn't have to be anything big, just a meeting somewhere, and invite all the people that have been members for, say, 20 years or more. And, you know, make them feel important. Now, again, I want you to report to me, and if you put this date down, I'm going to send an email out for this as well, by October 15th. And I know that's pretty fast, but just at least have an idea of who you want to have by October 15th. Send me their names, their companies, their phone and emails, and send them to Maureen K1@bellsouth.net. And I will send everybody on this call an email so that you have all that information. But I do want you to report to me. If you're not the membership chair, would you please relay this information to them? That's very important. So now I want everybody to look at something that NAPA has really gone through a lot to establish 2020. They have revised, redone, reorganized, and I think in most cases done a very good job of it. But it's new, it's different, and if you can, Tom has it on his computer that he's going to show to us. When you go to it on your own, if you want, www.nafa.org/join. Tom, can you pull that up at all?
Yes.
There we go. If you look up at the top, it's where they go to join.
Right here is the join tab at the top in the navigation, and just simply click join. This is the NAFA homepage, of course. Click join. And then this screen pops up. And career-friendly membership fees, and then scroll down, and here the membership fees, the dues are outlined.
And it sounded confusing when I first heard it, but I think it's great the way they've got it spread out. It tells why the benefits are there, different things they can use, and how to do the checkout to join. And it's very simple. Where we had to have all the applications, all the paper, they can just go right on here now and join immediately. So you can even talk to somebody on the phone about membership, direct them to the page, talk to them about it, tell them to work with them. Tell them to page down and just press join, and they're in.
And notice too, Maureen, that the rates, the membership dues are discounted, and you've got two primary categories: new to the industry and experienced in the industry, new to NAFA in the center. But it's very interesting how NAFA has put together a discounted dues rate for people coming into the business, or you've never been a member of the association before.
Yeah, a few years ago, they had all the new members could go free their first years, and there was no commitment. So I think even $10 a month is a commitment, and if you know, if you pay for something, you're going to make sure that it's important to you. So I think it's good that they've changed that. Does everyone understand the difference between new to NAPA and new to the industry?
Maybe you should explain that one, Maureen.
Okay. Well, if I'm a new agent. I'm not a new agent, but if I was a new agent and I've never been in the insurance industry before, I'm just learning how to sell. I'm learning what insurance is spelled like. I'm a new agent. So the first year that I'm in the business, it's $10 a year for me. Second year, it's 20. Now, new to NAPA, I've been an agent maybe for the last 7-8 years, but nobody's ever asked me to join, or I debated joining and I didn't think about it. That's different. Their first year as a member will be $30 a month. And once they're experienced in the industry, so they go first year, second year, third year is 30. The fourth year they're in the business, it's 40, and 5 years and beyond is 56. Any questions about that?
And of course, the join tab is at the bottom down there. And
then there's frequently asked questions. So if there are questions, somebody goes on there on their own, they will be able to see exactly what they would be paying. By the way, it's important to understand that if they're doing this discounted these discounted fees, then they have to do it on a monthly basis. They can't do it annually, just so you're aware of that before you start talking to people. The website has, it's become simpler, much simpler to deal with and use, and it is user-friendly now. But you just got to get on and play with it a little bit, look at all the options and so forth that are on there. Okay. So you've got somebody who is potentially a new member. What do? What I would do personally is go to the person and ask them, why should you want to be a member of NAPA? See what they say. And they're going to tell you why or why not they want to be a member of NAPA. It's important to get the negative stuff out of it too. I think it's important to find out why they don't. Be aware of the fact that millennials are not necessarily joiners. It's not going to be as easy as somebody who said when they first joined, their manager said, you will be a member. That used to be the case. Now, what we're going to do, just so you're aware of it, I'm not going to get into with you because that's not your job, but we're going to have a group of the state insurance organizations, the state farm, the different organizations of the state, talk to their managers, who then trickle down to the other managers in the local areas and get their support. And we're going to have a competition with them to see who can have the greatest percentage of membership increase. So that's going to be definitely something we're going to be looking at very soon. Get them involved with the process. Get the managers to see why it's important to join. They have done studies that members of NAPA make more money than people that are not members. And as a former manager, believe me, you want your agents to be out there making more money because that's how you make more money. So it's a good, easy sell to them if they can, realize that. Hello?
Nope. Still here.
Okay. Then I think you need to think about something, talk to your presidents and have them set up a membership event. And at this event, and have it be something fun, not CE, not that that's not always really fun, but have it be something fun, like a social hour, where everybody meets at the local brew pub and bring someone there who's not a member. Make sure at the event that somebody gets up, not only are they seeing what fun we are as members, but they can talk to each other, they can socialize, they can see what a fun time it can be, and meet some other members that they haven't met before. So try to think about that. If you're not the membership chair, please relay these things to the other membership chairs in your area. There are some terms, and I was joking around about that, that they call it onboarding new members, which makes me think of waterboarding, but that's all right. Onboarding new members simply means that you're going to get the new member in. You brought them in, they've signed up. We need to make them feel really important. We need to make them feel like they made a good decision. They have decided to become a member of NAIFA. When they come to their first meeting, whatever it is, introduce them. Have them stand up, have them talk, have them, greeted by the rest of the membership that is there. Again, if you make someone feel important, they're going to help you. And the same thing for the people that you're asking to be on your committee. A lot of people don't want to be in charge, but they don't mind helping. So ask them to help. I know that if I go to somebody and say, I need your help, they're going to probably say yes, unless they have a really good reason. I'll hit them over that. No. But anyway, so have a welcoming committee and set that up. Now, I want to mention one thing. We just got a couple days ago, NAIFA National is establishing an end of the year competition between the various locals and states. So I'm just going to read this to you because that way you'll know exactly what's going on. Whomever has the greatest percentage of new members to current members, and it starts October 1st to December 31st, divided by September 30th current wins. First, second, and third prizes will be available, and the states will be grouped together on size. So we're looking at everybody here to contribute, and I think we're going to figure out a way to reward those people who have the greatest percentage of membership increase on the local level as well. Prizes to be determined. We don't know that yet, but I will notify everybody that whether it's gift certificates to the NAIFA store, which brings me to a point. When there's a new member, think about getting a NAIFA pin that you can present to them at the meetings. Again, every little thing that you can do to make that person feel important is going to make them want to share their experience with others that are around them, other people that they see. You can go to the NAIFA store. If you don't have, I probably have enough pins to give away to about 10 people after the various conferences that I've gone to. I've forgotten my other pins, so I got new ones. But I think that's a nice idea to do and to give to people. They're also offering a complimentary registration to the NAIFA PNP conference, which will be in Boston next year, 2020, October 1st. So put that on your calendar if you don't have it now, because you're going to be the top membership chairperson in Florida and maybe in the nation. If you get your act together, put it together, get your committees together and make it happen. Besides, there's going to be a Fast Start Award in the first 4 weeks, a Sprinters Award, which they have to decide which week, and a 2-minute drill award, which will be in the last weeks. And they're considering a grand prize. I don't have all that information, but I just want you to know that we're going to get there. We're going to get there running. So if there's any questions, let me know. That's pretty much what I have. Joe or Tom, you think of something?
Yeah, I had an idea, and I think it's great that what you said about the basically having a pinning ceremony at the local level. What does everybody feel about maybe? And I don't know if it's possible, Tom, if we have the time for it, but maybe having a pinning ceremony a day on the Hill, you know, for members have joined within a certain time frame. You know, maybe allocate 5-10 minutes for that. I mean, is that possible?
Yeah, we couldn't do 10 minutes, but we could certainly carve out a little time to do that. Maybe 3 to 4 minutes would be appropriate.
Do a little recognition. What do you think about that idea, Maureen?
I think it's a great idea. Maybe even at the dinner,
Well,
you know, after the meetings, after we met with the legislators and we're going to Tim Meenan's office. I think, isn't that when we're doing that? That way we'd have more time.
yeah, that's a possibility.
We wouldn't be stealing time away from Tim getting everybody.
Right. Yeah, actually, that's probably a really good idea to be more relaxed atmosphere.
That way we can toast. We can make a toast to the new people that are there.
Okay.
Yeah. And of course, typically there'll be first timers at Day on the Hill too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've made a note to that effect here.
Any questions of people that are on the call? What are your thoughts? Anybody feel that this is asking too much to ask for a committee of 8 people? Is it too early to think?
Hey, this is Patrick. I'll throw my hands up in front of the train. I think it's a good goal. 8 does seem like a lot. I mean, you know, I think Tampa, we have a pretty vibrant membership. You know, at our meetings, we probably have maybe between 40 to 55 folks at our programs. So, you know, that's a pretty decent percentage of those folks. But I do like the idea of assigning, you know, one of your longstanding folks to kind of head up the retention. I think that's a great idea. And when you fold in the idea of, you know, down here, we've got a lot of folks that are from State Farm, but we don't have everybody. And we've got a lot of folks from Allstate and, you know, a couple of the other life firms. You know, you get somebody from each of those folks, you know, maybe you do get close to 8. So I'm not sure. But I did want to state that I did come across the other day, we didn't do a pin, but what I noticed, and I think we may have, I'm not sure we've done as consistent a job as we need to going forward, is we got a certificate when I first joined NAPA. So I do remember getting called up for that, and I got the certificate, and obviously it meant enough for me that I've never, you know, thrown it out. So I do like the idea of giving those new members something when we first introduce them that they can, you know, take with them. So I think that's another great idea. Thanks for sharing that, and that's a good reminder.
And think about when you were a new agent and the first meeting that you ever went to, you're like, I was sort of in awe of all these people that were involved, and you know, you had to really picture yourself starting all over and how you felt. And then to go in there and be recognized by these people as a new member and for what you're doing, I just think it's so important. And I think if these people come in there and they've been recognized, they're going to go back to their agencies and say, wow, this was great. I was a manager for about 10 years. And one of the things that I did, and it was Pivot, my agency, we had a sign that went out. I don't know if they still have those or not. We had a sign that went out whenever there was a NAFO luncheon. And the whole agency pretty much would come together. We'd have a table together, and it was a way of having lunch together as an office, and it really worked that way. But again, it has to come from the manager, and we're going to work that area as well. If the managers are convinced and believe in NAFA, it's going to spread down to their agents. If you think of me right now, I have my home office, and I don't see anybody. I mean, I see my clients and I talk to people on the phone, but I don't have that touchy-feely thing where I had an agency. So getting to the managers of the local organizations is very important. I know in Jacksonville, we had a list of the various agency managers. I'm sure it needs to be with changes and so forth. That needs to be built up. But if you can go and find maybe your exec there might have a list of these names, and try to call some of the agents to find out, make sure you have the names of the people that are there.
And let me reiterate, Maureen, you make a couple of great points there. You know, um, being made a member or joining the association more appropriately is very much a status thing. And I remember when I joined the association as well, when I was in production. I won't tell you how many years ago, but it was a very neat, very cool feeling to know that you were joining an association where, you know, a lot of the industry leaders in our business were in the room, either at my local association or certainly at the state meetings and national meetings. And to know that you were a member and had joined that, what I consider to be an elite group, was a matter of status. It really was. And that's one of the reasons that NAFA, as part of the NAFA 2020 initiative, has put emphasis on the pinning ceremony. That's kind of new for us, but they are really wanting those new members to be recognized, especially at that local level, with the presentation of the membership pin. As Maureen mentioned, they're available on the NAFA store. You can buy them, and they're not particularly cheap. They're very good quality pins, but that's a great touch right there, I think, to recognize our new members and institute the pinning ceremony.
And I think that if certainly if we do it at the state level, we will carry that recognition forward on possibly on social media, on the website, in the newsletters, things like that. And if you do things at the local level, submit those photographs to Ashley, right?
Yep.
Submit it to us at the state level, and we can make sure that recognition gets carried forward statewide.
It's posted up. Yep.
And when you have your program, I don't know if each individual organization has a program chairman, but when you're planning your meetings for the next year, pay attention to the speakers and the companies that they're from, because you know that if you have a Northwestern agent speaking, or a New York Life agent speaking, or AXA, which I just heard is now called Equitable, if you have one of these people speaking, you're going to get support from their organization. They're going to come and hear their own speak. That's a great time to really emphasize, not only with the manager, but with the agents that are there, how important it is to be a member.
And let me reemphasize too, the need for our 6 local chapters. And remember, our 6 local chapters constitutes 2/3 of our statewide membership. And we really need to have robust, viable local membership teams in place. And that's really kind of been the emphasis here with Maureen's presentation. And I want to echo that, but even go a little deeper in terms of reminding you of the importance of that. With the new NAFA 2020 structure, there are 11 local associations that we do not have anymore. We actually have 2 of those 11 that are affiliates, but the large local chapters are now really the heart of the mission of this association in achieving the work. And other than advocacy, the advocacy efforts through Pick and Pack, membership is the most important thing that we do. Because if we don't have membership, as Joe mentioned, we don't have the other benefits and services that we offer. So it is so important for your local chapter, if you're one of those 6, to make sure you have a membership chair in 2020, to make sure you have a membership team in place, and that they are working, that they're working membership and recruiting members to this great association. And I can't think of any other way to put that. It's extremely, extremely important to this association that get done. So thank you for your efforts for that. And thank you, Maureen, for highlighting that as part of your presentation.
I have a question. Diana, do you know, do we have the 2020 membership chairs for all the locals?
I'm only missing Tampa's chairs at this point.
Patrick, can you help us on that?
Yeah, I think I don't know. I think I know who our membership chair is, but I mean, we'll definitely have a chair. I believe it's going to be Omar But I'll get that confirmed and over to you. We're have a couple conversations ongoing this week to lock down our 2020 chair still.
Okay, Patrick, if you wouldn't mind asking Omar to watch the replay of this. And also, I know there's some execs on. If your membership chair is not on, ask them again to watch the replay of this this meeting. I'm just passing that out because it's so important. I mean, we're taking our time and our efforts to help you make this something easy to do. It shouldn't be that difficult. We all have our own jobs and our own work that we get paid for. And it's really important to get a team. To me, I can't say more and more how important it is to get a team together. And I know it's going to be important, but I'd love to hear, and I will contact everybody that at the local level to see who your team will be by October 15th. And I know that's a lot to ask, but if you don't have a goal, if you don't have a commitment, it's not going to happen. So I think that's all I have. Oh, I did forget something, the ambassador program. One of the things that NAFA has established is an ambassador program. Again, I suggest everybody go to the website and take a look at it. But it's almost like having a mentor, someone who is deeply committed, who will help you, help the new members to get going. So check out the website, check out the ambassador program, and Joe or Tom, anybody have anything that I forgot?
Yeah, I just have a few announcements to kind of close this out. As soon as I finish that, I'll turn it back over to Joe, who will actually close this out. But I, for one, would like to thank Maureen for stepping up and helping us with membership. Maureen and I have known each other for nearly 30 years, Maureen. I don't know if you knew that or not, but we go way, way back. As a matter of fact, we both served as regional vice presidents for the state board when I was in production. Of course, Maureen was. So we have quite the legacy here. But we have needed a real push in our membership efforts here at the state level, and Maureen has been kind enough to step up and raise her hand and say, yes, I'll do that. And I just want to thank you.
And I wasn't even drinking at the time.
Well, maybe you should have been.
Yeah.
But
I probably will be.
At any rate, on behalf of the board of directors and the members and staff, we really appreciate you stepping up and doing that. Just a couple of announcements for you. Just a reminder that the NAFA advocacy meeting will take place December 2, 3, and 4 in Washington, D.C. That's primarily for your pick chairs and your pack chairs, although anyone is welcome to attend. Don't let me let you think that you're not welcome, but primarily, especially your pick and pack chairs. It opens up with a general session meeting on Monday afternoon at the Renaissance Hotel in downtown Washington, and breakout sessions for your pick leaders and your pack leaders. And then a couple more general sessions, a couple of great speakers. Last year they had Senator Chuck Grassley, and it was fascinating. And then on Wednesday is members appointments with members of Congress, and we hope you'll attend all of that and get there and then stay maybe over Wednesday night or fly back Wednesday afternoon. The airlines do consider that Monday, December 2nd, as part of Thanksgiving weekend, so it may be more difficult to secure airline reservations, so we encourage you to do that soon if you've not already done so. If you're a president for the coming year or an exec, please make sure that your pick and pack chairs are registered for that meeting in Washington, December 2, 3, and 4. Our NAFA Florida Legislative Day on the Hill will be Tuesday, January 28th. Got a lot of things planned. The format will be typically the same as we've had before. The only change will be that we will not meet at the Dogwood House for our dinner and open bar on that Tuesday evening following your appointments. Rather, we're going to meet at Tim Meenan's office, our lobbyist. His lobbyist office is the closest one to the Florida Capitol, oddly enough. So you'll be able to walk right across the street there where the House of Representatives building is, directly across the street there to the north, and you're in Tim's courtyard. So we're going to use that courtyard. It's a beautiful courtyard right there in front of his office. And we're going to have our dinner and open bar, probably run it from 4 to 7. Some of you may want to scoot on back home after it's over with. So we'll give you that opportunity to grab a quick bite and socialize with your fellow NAFA Florida members. So that's January 28th. Registration is now open on our NAFA Florida website. So get in there and register. Early bird discount ends December 27th, as does our NAFA Florida room block for that. Reduced rates at the Hampton Inn here in Tallahassee, but those go away after December 27th, and then availability even then becomes an issue. So please get registered. Finally, the NAFA Congressional Conference in May will be May 19 and 20, May 19 and 20. That's for everyone. Everyone in the association is invited to come to Washington. It's NAFA's version of the Legislative Day on the Hill. And it's a great event. We encourage you to get there. And typically they have reimbursements. They have stipends for the first 300 members or so who sign up. It has been in the amount of $300. I've not heard. I assume it will be the same this year. But nonetheless, it's important that we make a great showing in Washington for the Congressional Conference. And again, we'll be visiting, having appointments with members of Congress the second day on the 20th. Other than that, this is the only thing I've got, Joe. And again, my thanks to everyone on the call. Thank you for being here. Thanks again to Maureen. Joe, I'll turn it over to you to close us out then.
Thank you, Tom. And I think that a great deal of emphasis has been placed on the importance of membership to our survival and to continue providing all the benefits that we offer, including our core mission of advocacy. And certainly the 6 locals and the affiliates are our main focus because of the remaining organizational structure. But, you know, for those of you who may know people who are at-large members, they are welcome to join any of our state committees, including the membership committee, because about 40% of our members belong to the at-large. And I certainly wouldn't want to forget those individuals. They're just as important as everyone else. So if you know of folks that are maybe not a member of a local, but maybe an at-large member, you know, suggest that they may want to participate in one of our state committees, including membership. And I just can't emphasize enough how important membership is, because it is the core root of our ability to provide the services for advocacy. Because if our membership goes too low, we're not able to continue to have the statement that we have a member in every congressional district, and at the federal level, and also the legislative districts at the state level. So it's really super important. And I also want to join in and thank Maureen for agreeing to take the reins up as our membership chair. I know that Maureen has really a wealth of experience, and I know there's a lot of passionate people who really want NAFA Florida to thrive. And I think 2020 is a great year for that to happen, and we ought to get kickstarted right now. So I look forward to working with all of you and going forward. And I appreciate you being on this call.
Thanks so much, everyone. Make it happen.